and the uses of this Adobe XD. So that's is going to do for this the whole meeting. So he is one of our employee, so who is creating all the wireframes. Currently using it on iCast, and he's completely responsible for designing all the iCast screens, its flow, its but you can say like everything. So total wireframe has been developed by him, and not exactly, but it's like his team. So what we are expecting from Arun today is like, since most of us are new to this Adobe XD, so we do not know how to go through each of this wireframe, how it is connected with each other, and how can we use this wireframe to design or develop our web page, how we can see the CSS properties, how each and every slide has been linked with each other. So these are the informations have not been completely shared with all of this developer. So that's why most of the time everybody is facing the issues, because earlier, like initial days also, I was also a little confused, like how it is connected, what are the different flows it has to be. So, that actually it's very critical to understand that flow, and without understanding, we it's very difficult to go through all the flow and find out the exact connection between each of the screens. So that's what he will help us today to give a small idea on this application, like how it has been interlinked with each other, how this Adobe XD has been used, and the basically how we can use Adobe XD to find out different CSS properties, so that you guys can directly use in your HTML page, CSS page, to beautify the screen as it is designed in the wireframe. So that's the overall expectation. And do let all of you know Arun during this discussion if you have any issues or anything, so he can help us to resolve that also. Am I clear? Any doubt or anything?
No. Clear all.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, Arun, you are clear. It's clear.
All right. So I will divide this meeting into two parts. First, we'll have a brief introduction about XD as well as me. Then we'll go to a file that we created, something like the onboarding flow or the mobile application, and then we'll go through that and we'll see the XD and his benefits for the developers. All right. Hello.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. So let me share my screen first. So are you able to see my screen? And anybody can anyone respond?
Yes, yes, sir. Hey, guys,
All
please
right.
execute the.
Yes, sir. Yes, Arun, it is visible. It is visible.
All right. All right. All right. So we'll start with an introduction about Adobe XD. Before that, so who am I? So yeah. So I am Arun, and I am a user experience designer. So you guys have heard of UI UX designer. So there is nothing like that. Either you can be a UX designer or you can be a UI designer. So as a UX designer, I don't draw. I'm not a graphic designer, or I don't create vectors. Right. So what I do is I build experiences. So in iCast, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build an experience for the entire fleet of apps that we have. So yeah, now the main question is, what is the difference between a visual designer or a graphic designer and a UX designer? So visual designer takes care of the appearance part, whereas the user experience designer makes or takes care of the experience part. So let me give you an example of a biryani. So I think all of you guys have had biryani, right? So the user experience team or the UX people will, so for example, so a group of people is coming to your home to for a get together, and you are planning to give them biryani. So the UX team do the research. So how many people are coming. So what all are their expectations? What kind of meat or veggies that they prefer? So they do all these kind of research, and they takes care of the ingredients. So how much quantity of ingredients are needed to be added to the biryani, and also the UX team takes care of that. So they basically evaluate the customer and takes care of the experience part. Then biryani is made by some people, right? So we can associate them to the developers. So UX team basically give them the ingredients. Developers using those ingredients, they will cook biryani. Then we have the visual designers who will present the biryani to the end customers. So on a short on a short term, we can consider UX designers as a people who takes care of the ingredients as well as experience while making a biryani. All right. So again, about me, as I said, the UX design is all about design strategy and business. So I speak design strategy and business. I was a founding member of a design team in an e-commerce firm, and I also had a startup, which was a design-centric startup. Then I worked for different clients, including Chinese Super Kings, Discovery Plus, etc. Then I helped building 2 products, Waymaker as well as iScale. Then I also worked for a few companies called Incent.ai, Servant, and now I'm part of a Fortune 500 MNC. So I like cars, single malt, and a lot of things. Yeah. So now the main, then the other thing that I just want to let you guys know is knowing just Adobe XD can't make you a designer. All right. So yeah. So what is Adobe XD? So Adobe XD is a tool that is used by UX designers to quickly create wireframes as well as some part of visual design, and they can hand over that to developers. And from the tool itself, developers will be able to pick the colors, fonts, some parts of CSS, and that will help them to create the designs which are kind of pixel perfect. So that is the whole use of Adobe XD. And Adobe XD is available in Windows, Mac. It also has some has applications for Android and iOS, so that you can plug and play the designs that you created in Adobe XD in your phone, and you can do a design QA. So let's go to one of our projects, and we'll explain how these things are actually created, and how you can make use of Adobe XD in creating pixel perfect products. So am I clear till now? Do you guys have any questions?
Arun. Arun?
Yes.
Yeah, this is Srinivas. So what do you mean by vector based?
What vectors?
Vector based design.
Yeah. So you have different formats for images, right? So we have JPGs, we have PNGs, then we have SVGs. So any format which can be scalable are called as vectors. So if you think of a JPEG image, right? So when you scale after a point, you can see the pixels of that image, right?
Correct.
But if you do the same thing with an SVG, you won't be able to see the pixels because it is a vector. So that is the basic difference between a normal image and a vector image. So we use different type of tools to create vectors. I don't know whether you have heard of Adobe Illustrator or not. So people use it to create vectors.
Right.
All right. So any more questions?
No, then I think those are.
All right. So this is a onboarding. This is a file for our onboarding process. So as you can see, there are a lot of artboards, right? So, but we have created a landing page or an index page like this to help you guys out to have a look at different flows. All right. So yeah, let's go with this one. So we have flow 1, flow 2, flow 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So first we have this branch verification flow. So when you click on it, you have these many services listed. So when I click on customer onboarding, it will get selected. Then you can go here you can select a video verification, then you can fill in all these details, then you can do this, you can schedule an appointment, and so this is the flow that we have. But let me know. I mean, let me help you guys. How to take these colors and everything. Right? So I think you all got this particular link. Are you able to see my screen? Hello.
Yes, Arun.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yeah. So in that particular flow, right? So you have this particular page, right? So when you look, so on the right hand side, so when you click on the link, a page like this will open, and on the right hand side, you can see, you can see three options. First one is a comment option, second one is view specs, and third one is variables. Okay, so if you want to make any comment, you can, so for a page, you can simply type in your comment, and that comment will be added to this XD file. All right.
So Arun, is that comment is for whole page? Like
Yeah,
for
this comment. Yeah, this comment is for the whole page.
Okay.
If we want to make it for a particular section, then how do we do that?
So there is, right now there is no such option in Adobe XD to do that. So what you can do alternatively is, you can just name the section name in the comment. For example, so if you want to make a, comment for the header, you can simply type header, and you can make the comment. But soon it will be launched in Adobe XD. So yeah, so it is a tool, which is undergoing a lot of, it is getting a lot of updates. So soon such features also will get added to it. Or the other thing that you can do is, you can place a pin over somewhere, and you can do it. So for example, so here you have a pin. So if I want to make any comment regarding this particular section header, I can place a pin over here, and then I can make the comment. Am I clear?
Yeah.
Yes.
So this will record the comment, the number of the comment, and based on the number we can check it. That is what you're saying.
Yes. Yes. So this pin number 1 is associated with this header, and you can make a comment over here, and when I click on the number 1, I'll be able to see the comment that I made. You can get it. So yeah, so that is the whole comments part. Now we have the this part. So here, you will be able to see all the list of assets that you can download from here, all the colors that we have used here, and all the fonts, that this document is having, right? So if you want to download a particular asset, you just need to click here, and below you can select different options. So right now this asset has got PNG PDF output, so you can download either PNG or PDF of this particular asset. You just need to click download button, it will be downloaded to your system. Then simply, if you want to have a this asset, you can do the same. Then the other way is, you just need to click here, and you just need to click on a particular asset. Then also you will be able to download the same asset. Am I clear?
Arun, one more doubt here. If I want to change the asset, then is it possible using that?
Why do you want to change the asset?
Yeah, if the asset which I've placed for one particular thing like customer information details is a wrong asset and I want to replace it with the other one.
So that is our job, right? I mean, what I meant to say is, so if you want to, build something like this, you need to do it in the tool, here. So if you want to change anything, you need to do it here. Then you need to update it. Then you will be able to see the link.
So any updating on the application will automatically trigger the change in this link.
Yes. But you have to do it manually. So after every update, right, you just need to update the link.
Okay.
Then you'll be able to download it. But I would say I will suggest all of you guys to follow these assets rather than changing it, because we researched a lot. We researched on the colors, we researched on the fonts, and that's the reason you are seeing this screen. So I don't recommend you guys to change the assets as of
No,
now.
just a casual doubt.
Yes, so don't change it. But if you want to change anything, you have to get an access to the source file. Then where you can update it, people can download it. And if you're changing any assets, since you asked this, I covered this also. So if you're changing any asset, what you have to do is, select this particular asset that you change. You need to click here to mark for export. Then only you will be able to download it from here. Am I clear?
Arun,
Yes.
can you just maximize your screen? Like it's very smaller while seeing the right side, whichever you're showing the navigation something, it is very smaller.
Okay. So just give me a minute. I'll stop my screen sharing for a minute. Then I'll share. Just give me a minute.
Yeah, sure.
Are you able to see my screen now?
Yes, Arun.
Yes, sir.
Is it fine now?
Yeah, it's better now.
Okay. So yeah. So that's how you can download the assets. You just need to click here. You can choose the required format, and then you can download, right? And if you, for example, so if I'm selecting this particular card, and if I want to have a look at the CSS as well as the UI, so here there is a section called the CSS. From there, you will be able to see the CSS properties as well as the UI properties. So let me take header as an example. So this is the background color. This is the opacity that we used from top left, width is this much, height is this much. So you'll be able to select, get the basic CSS of the page from the CSS tab section that we have. And you can simply click on select to go. You can simply select and copy the whole CSS part.
Oh, Arun, one more doubt here. If the CSS part is already defined, then we can use the same CSS in the application level and we can build the same thing as it is visualized here. The same thing will be built in the UI layer, if I'm not wrong.
Yes. Yes.
See, sorry, Arun. So, we cannot take all the CSS properties. Only few properties we can take. For example, here width is like 300 pixel, and if we add the same 300 pixel, means the page will not be responsiveness. So, we need to ignore few properties like width, height, top.
Yeah, it depends. It totally depends on you. So if you want to create this screen, right? So this screen has got 1366 width. So if you exactly want to create this particular screen, you can use this CSS properties. But as she mentioned, if you want to create a responsive design, then the width of the page, sometimes the font sizes and all will vary, right? So at that time, you won't be able to use this CSS properties. But if you exactly copy this, then you will exactly get this particular page.
Yeah.
But that was my question actually. So if using the same CSS properties, will it enable our browser to, will our page be responsive? Like if we make it in the mobile view, or if we try to minimize or maximize the screen, then it will automatically adjust or not? That was my question actually.
No, it won't actually. So if you want to have a responsive design, then again in the design itself you have to create multiple pages. So in 1024 you have to create, 136 you have to create, 1924 you have to create. So then only you'll be able to do that. But yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, that is one challenge we have. The responsive part is not covered. All right. So any other doubt in this particular section?
No, I don't think.
All right. So now you have this character style thing. Then you'll be able to get a hold of some again some kind of CSS properties. Uh, it is still the same. It's here it is represented in a different way. Here it is again represented in a different way. So that's how it is. So if you want, you can use this also. So that's how you can access all these things. And from the right side, you have these three options. From there, you'll be able to see all those things. So the CSS part, I don't know how much that will help you out in the designs, but regarding the assets, regarding the colors, regarding the font name, regarding the font and all, this tool is going to help you. So here you can see, when I select a particular text, it is actually saying, this is the font style that we use. This is the size of the font. Then this is the color. This is the opacity of the particular color. All these things, you'll be able to see in this too. Yeah. So that's how it is. Any other doubts?
Okay, the fonts which are not the fonts, the icons which are visible here, are these coming from any particular source? Those so that we can reuse in our UI. Here we can download it, but it should be collected somewhere else, right?
So as we said, right? So these icons are custom made by us, and those icons are actually designed in our source file as SVGs. So this you can download it also as SVGs. So it is not coming from an icon library or somewhere. So these all are custom made icons that we create. But these small icons, right? This chevron or this drop down icons, or if you look at these particular icons, right? So all these icons are from the material design library. So instead of downloading it from here, you can use it from the material design library as well.
Okay.
Am I clear?
Yeah.
So these, as when initially somebody asked, what is actually a vector? So these illustrations that you see, right? So these are also vectors. So even if you scale it up, it won't break. So these vectors are custom made, and there is no such library available right now to use these. But the icons that you see all are from the material design icon pack. Yeah. So any more questions in this?
One question, but it is not relevant to the page. So I was actually using this Adobe XD. So there are a couple of clickable links. Like if I click on that particular link, it will redirect to that particular page. How is that happening?
So then what you're seeing is will be a prototype, right? So as I so this page, right? Can you see this page? Let me
Yes.
maximize. Yeah. So in Adobe XD, the one thing that you can do is you can prototype. So then you can do some interactions and all these things, right? So in order to explain a particular flow, what we did was we created a prototype. For example, so in order to create a customer account, you just need to click here. So this is the flow to create a customer account. So here, you can select this, then this information will be visible. Then, you can have a look at all the fields mentioned over here. Then you can click on this. Then, this is how you create an applicant. Then you can press here. So this is the whole prototype part. So in Adobe XD, you will be able to create clickable prototypes. I hope, you are seeing that.
Yes. So if we want to create such kind of prototypes, then how do we do that?
So you will be able to, you have to navigate to the tool itself. Then from there, you will be able to create a prototype. So I'll show you now. So here, you have these three options. I don't know whether you guys have access to this tool or not, but if you get an access, when you open this particular tool, this is how it. This is how it should. This is how it will
Is
look
this tool
initially.
open source tool or a paid tool?
No, it was actually a big tool. It was open, 2 years before, but then they changed it. But if you want to have a look at it, you can obviously download a trial version later on. If you wish to purchase, you can do it. But anyway, since you asked, that is the home page of that particular tool. And if I have any project, I can click on it and it will open it like this. Yeah. So then you have three options: design, prototype, and share. All right. So basically, in the design section, you can design all these things using the tools that they gave here. But you can't simply design this. You need to do some research on all the components as well as the user experience part to design. And once you're done with couple of pages, and if you have a flow in my mind and if you have verified that flow, then you can go to this prototype section. Here you can create one page as a home page. Then you can select each and every component, and you can link this to the next page. So here, what it did is, when I click on this particular page, it will actually take me to the next page. And here, I can, on the right hand side, I can, choose between different triggers that I have. I can choose the action type, the transition type. Then I can, check, how my, if I want to make a section like, sticky, I can preserve the scroll position over there. Then I can, choose the destination. I can choose the animation. These are some actions that you can do in the prototype section of Adobe XD. And similarly, we have, another tab called share, where, you can choose that particular link that you choose that particular prototype that you created. Then for sharing the prototype, you have multiple options. You can share it for a review or development, presentation, user testing, or you can do some custom settings. Then once you're done with all these things, you can give access to them, who can access this particular link. Then you can also mention where people will be able to download assets from them. Then you can finally create or update a link. So that's how the prototype part is also done. So in any design tool, right? So we have multiple tools similar to Adobe XD. You have Figma, you have UXFilm. So in all these tools, right, the flow is somewhat similar. So here for iCust, we are actually using this Adobe XD. So that's how. And so these are some features in Adobe XD, and this is where it resides. But there are some other tools also, so which is also having similar properties. So if you are interested, you can also have a look at those tools as well. All right. So any more doubts on the tool or on the flow or something? Hello. Hello.
No, Arun.
Yeah.
All right. Why you guys are not responding? Like I was feeling
I
I'm
was
alone in this
surprised.
room.
Arun, it looks like no,
No,
everybody
just
is.
processing the information which you just shared actually.
Okay. Then no worries. Okay, so any other doubts or any other things that we can discuss?
Okay, in the prototype section, can we have this branching? Like on click of one page, we have to open two pages. Like, is there any mode, branching mode?
So when they click, I mean, I didn't get to a question
Okay,
actually.
branching in the
So
sense if there is an event triggered on one particular part and based on a particular situation, like I have one prototype. Under that there are two prototypes. So if I click on the main prototype, either one of the page would be visible. That kind of situation. Like I have a section A, a section B, which is under same similar prototype. If I click on the minus section, then one page should be loading. So that also we can do, right?
yes. Yeah, you can do it. So I mean, so in the from the prototype section, so if I'm clicking on this particular tab, right, I can link it to one section, and if I want to, do some interaction to this particular tab, I'll be able to do it. So yeah, branching in that sense is also possible. Yeah.
Got it.
So these are some of the design aspects. And then you can do a lot of things using it. So for example, if I want to display some values of a drop down, you can simply create a small artboard with a drop down, and you can, from this particular link, you can actually link it to that drop down, and when you click on it, it will display like that. So yeah,
Okay.
these things are also possible. Yes.
So talking about drop downs, how are we saving the values of the drop down here? Like if I have a drop
You're
down
just,
in the form,
no, you're just typing it.
but still I
So
can
you
I
can't
can use
record a selection.
drop down, right?
You can't record a selection.
Okay.
So it is like, let me tell you with an example. So here, we have this change currency or drop down, right? So when I click on this, what I'm showing is I'll display a drop down with multiple values. And when I click on something, right, I'll actually take you to a new page where, that particular thing is selected.
Okay, where the drop down is visible with the values.
Yes, where drop down is visible with the values.
Okay, I thought we can have drop down values here.
No. That is not possible. I mean, it is not as powerful as Flutter or something, but yeah, it is just useful design. That's it. So yeah, again, all these documents are stored in all the documents that we use are stored in cloud. So yeah, nothing is stored in the system. So if you don't have any other questions, we can wind up. So anyone else is having any questions? Alok, Manoj, anyone?
I think all are clear.
No, all are clear.
Arun, thank you so much for your time on this great session. Thank you.
No, no worries.
Thank you, Arun.
Hey, if you have anyone is having any doubts, I think you have my Skype ID over here in the group, so you can just
Yes,
send
sir.
me a message. I'm happy to help.
Sure.
All right. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.